All right, today we are diving into a truly groundbreaking book, The Body Keeps the Score by Bessel van der Kolk. We're going to explore this radical idea that trauma isn't just a story we tell ourselves, it's something that gets physically stuck in our bodies, and we'll look at what the real path to healing actually involves. The book kicks off with this really powerful idea, and its essential theme, True healing really begins when we stop telling ourselves those lies, when we stop pretending we're okay and instead learn to actually feel what happened to us. And this is so important because, as we're about to see, trauma's reality lives deep inside the body. Okay, so let's get right into it. How exactly does trauma leave its mark? Well, it's not just some bad memory you file away. For someone who's been traumatized, it's this raw, physical experience that stays completely alive in the present. The book is just filled with these intense stories that really bring this idea to life. So take the story of Bill, a Vietnam vet. During a simple ink blot test, he doesn't just remember the war. No, the ink blot triggers a full-blown sensory flashback. In that moment, he is right back there, smelling the jungle, hearing the gunfire, feeling that absolute terror grip his body all over again. And Bill's experience, well, it gets right to the heart of the book's central argument. Trauma literally rewires our brains. It leaves the body's internal alarm system jammed in the on position, constantly scanning for danger, as if that terrible event is about to happen again at any second. So why does this happen? To really get it, we need to look at two specific parts of the brain that get thrown completely out of whack by a traumatic experience. And to help us understand this internal battle, van der Kolk gives us this absolutely brilliant analogy. I want you to think of the amygdala as the brain's super instinctive smoke detector and the medial prefrontal cortex as its calm, rational watchtower. Now, in a healthy brain, these two work as a team. The smoke detector might go off, but the watchtower looks out the window and says, "Hey, relax, it's just a car backfiring." But here's the thing. Trauma makes that smoke detector hyperactive, and this is the crucial part. It basically shuts the watchtower down. So what's the result of that? Well, the rational brain is silenced. Pure, raw emotions just take over, and a person is left stuck in survival mode, reacting to the entire world, not with logic, but with pure instinct, as a place of constant, overwhelming danger. This constant state of alarm doesn't just disconnect you from the world. It creates this profound, deep disconnection from your own self. And this deep disconnection can lead to a condition called alexithymia. It's a heck of a word, but it literally means not having words for feelings. The link between what the body is feeling and what the mind understands it's severed. So a person might have their fists clenched, face flushed red, but if you ask them if they're angry, they will genuinely say, "No, I'm fine." And they're not lying. They truly can't identify the internal physical sensations of rage. They've become strangers in their own bodies. I mean, just think about it for a second. Our language is filled with these phrases, right? Well, for someone with trauma, that whole language becomes foreign. The body is still keeping the score. You see it in chronic pain and numbness and all sorts of physical ailments, but the mind can no longer read it. So, if trauma is so fundamentally stuck in the body, how in the world do you heal from it? Well, the book argues that traditional talk therapy, the kind focused on thinking and reasoning, it's often not enough. You can't just talk your way out of it. Healing has to start from the bottom up. Instead of trying to reason with the watchtower while the smoke detector is still blaring, you first have to work directly with the body through breath and movement and physical sensation to calm that alarm system down. The goal isn't insight, not at first anyway. The goal is regulation. So what do these bottom-up therapies actually look like? Well, the book explores a whole host of different approaches designed to help the body rewrite its own score. Let's take yoga. It's not just about stretching. It's about learning to notice and even befriend the sensations in your own body. And get this brain scan from a study in the book shows exactly what's happening. After just 20 weeks of yoga, you see more activation in the very parts of the brain, like that rational watchtower, that trauma had shut down. It's incredible. Or what about theater? It can also be this incredibly powerful form of therapy. For kids who've only ever known chaos, being in a play teaches teamwork and cause and effect. It helps build a sense of competence to fight back against that feeling of helplessness, and it breaks through the deep isolation that trauma creates. There's also this amazing story about a college student who took a martial arts class. And it wasn't just about learning self-defense. By physically completing a self-preserving action, she was able to literally rewire a deep-seated feeling of helplessness into one of genuine competence and power. So all of these different therapies, they really share one common goal: to help people feel safe inside their own skin again. They do this by unfreezing the physical responses, that fight or flight impulse that got stuck during the trauma, and allowing those responses to finally be completed in a totally safe environment. And really, this all comes down to the core message of the entire book. Healing from trauma is all about integration. It's about putting the pieces back together, about restoring that vital connection between the thinking brain and the feeling body so they can finally work together again. And this leaves us with a final and really provocative thought. If the body truly keeps the score, then healing from trauma isn't just a private, personal journey. It's a massive public health issue. The real question isn't just how individuals can heal, but what is our collective responsibility to build a society that makes that healing possible?